The 2026 legislative session is underway after the governor's State of the State address earlier. It's the annual speech where the governor lays out his budget priorities for the year. Our Justin Core was at the State House for that address. He joins us now in the newsroom. Justin, we heard a very different speech this year.
Yeah, that's right, Morgan, because this year, despite the state having a balanced budget amendment, Idaho is actually facing a deficit. So this year, while the governor had some new programs he'd like to see funded, the address was mostly about what would have to be cut.
My friends, the state of our state is strong. We do face challenges, but we've laid a solid foundation for enduring and long-term prosperity.
And that's why Governor Brad Little is calling his budget plan for this year Enduring Idaho. He says there will be budget cuts. Most notably, it will make the 3% spending reductions last fall across most departments permanent.
Responsible leadership means acting early, not waiting for challenges to grow. That's why we took deliberate steps to right-size spending and identify efficiencies across all agencies.
Executive agencies will also renegotiate contracts and eliminate positions that have been long vacant. The plan, among other things, also removes $275 million from the Idaho Transportation Department's Strategic Initiatives Fund, including $110 million for local highway districts. Now, the governor says that is a one-time cut. Governor also said while he will not repeal Medicaid expansion, he is recommending a $45 million general fund reduction in Medicaid expenditures, as he says, to preserve affordable health care access.
Families and businesses across Idaho are grappling with rising costs, particularly in health care, and states everywhere are feeling the same strain. In Idaho, a fast-growing population adds to that pressure.
Governor stressed, though, one thing that will not be cut is the public schools budget.
Looking ahead, our Enduring Idaho plan balances the budget without cutting into public schools. We're going to do it while preserving the things that matter most to our long-term well-being as a state.
That being said, there will be changes that look a lot like cuts. The governor wants to see some inefficiencies eliminated in virtual public school funding and eliminating $10 million in funding for the Idaho Digital Learning Academy.
Our Enduring Idaho plan was carefully designed with strategy and foresight to protect what matters most, the things that will keep Idaho strong today, tomorrow, and decades to come. That starts with our public schools.
Governor also says the state will conform to the federal tax cuts, so that will further reduce the money coming into the state after the record-setting state income tax cuts last year. But the governor says those cuts will support economic development, which will hopefully benefit the whole state in the long run. Morgan?
Okay, Justin, thank you for that recap. So those 3% reductions affecting everybody except for public education. After the State of the State, the Republican Party held a news conference to discuss what is on the docket for this legislative session. During his address, Governor Little committed to education funding, something he didn't cut, as we mentioned, with that 3% holdback last year. Republican leadership says they agree that education needs to remain a top priority.
We don't want to cut public schools, but remember, we have a declining enrollment in schools too. So I don't think we need to send money to schools for kids that don't exist or aren't there. So we'll figure out a way path. I think if you look at the legislature, education is always one of the most, if not the most important budget. It's the one we watch the most, and we'll do all we can to protect education.
The Democratic press conference started at 3:30 and just wrapped up. Coming up in the next half hour, Joe Paris and Aspen Shumpert will break down more of what both parties have on their agendas headed into this session.